Hello there, Azer here. Just gonna put in some talk about something that is like maybe akin to negativity, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it anymore, unfortunately. And here's my take on the current situation, on the current state of New Genesis. Firstly, the game content is really in a dire straits at the moment. I'll be real here, right? Yes, they are churning out new contents constantly. I understand the efforts that the developers have been putting into it, but content, the game content is not meeting expectations. And as long as you are still recycling and rehashing content, it's not going to change the player numbers. It's going to stagnate the player counts even more if you are constantly doing the same thing over and over again. Constantly updating, and constantly providing us with seasonal content is not going to save the game. We need more story content. We need more permanent contents. We need more, meaningful content. That can be elaborated into a very, very long video, but I'm not going to do it because I can probably just stay here and talk for like several hours on end on how to improve the game in so many ways. But yes, the core issue at the moment is just game content. I think the whole AC scratch creativities and the whole fashion and customization of your creative space things are decent enough already that I don't really think they need to change. Maybe if you can, reduce the amount of AC scratches, I'll be much more happier because, I think you need to stop making AC scratches as a FOMO tactic. I don't really think that's a healthy way for you to monetize, especially this free-to-play game here. Because I think as long as the AC scratch and collaborations are decently made, people will scratch, people will pay money to buy the AC scratches, alright? I don't think that is going to stop anytime soon. But the problem is more like the player base that are playing this game for the content, for the gameplay elements. Alright, I think that is the core issue here. And as long as the core gameplay elements are not being updated, or as long as the open fields are still so barren and still the same state as it is since launch, it's not gonna bring in new players. No matter how many super alpha origins events you are trying to make, there's not gonna be enough retweetings or requotings or retweets from the X contents that is going to save the game. Like recently you have this event of like literally reposting until like 500 for the global side, and yeah, we finally managed to reach 500, but the Japanese side has 3,000 retweets, which is even more. But I'll be real here, right? These numbers are not healthy. The game needs more numbers in order for you to actually look good at all. And why? And I had to tell you that, the reason why the numbers are just not enough is because nobody cares. That's the reality. If you still are going to rehash the same old recycled content over and over again, if you're still going to give us the same old boss fights over and over again without like significant changes, by the way, and you just call them like part 3, part 2, it's not enough. All right, like that is just not enough. Unfortunately, the players who are playing this game for gameplay stuff just not going to stick around in the game long enough for you to be profitable. And it's going to become even more unsustainable in the future when whales finally realize that the game is bleeding the player base accounts, you know. I don't really want the game to go away because genuinely, I think PSO2 New Genesis is one of the most free-to-play friendly in terms of like the cosmetic sides of things, because other games, even Monster Hunter Wilds, would charge you money for you to change the appearance of your character even. Like other social games literally charges you money for every single customization of your character on your avatar. So, but the fact that you can just go to Dexbase and farm in-game currency easily and use those in-game currency to buy the premium fashion items is already a plus. It's already a huge W that a lot of live service games are not able to copy you, because they are going to say like, hey, why we cannot, you know, we cannot just let the players to resell their cosmetic items, man. We are going to go broke. But PSO2 New Genesis already showed us that, hey, they can be a free-to-play friendly game in the cosmetic scene as well. And also, please give us alternatives to AC support scratch augments as well, because I think it's starting to become a pay-to-win situation here, because the best augments are from the AC scratches now. Like, why is that a thing? Previously, we have alternatives, like for example, we have augments that we can actually at least earn from or craft from just doing dual quests or fighting bosses or stuff like that, right? But now it's more akin to like, hey, AC scratches, AC support scratch is the only way for you to get the most variety of augment capsules, so you can actually build a band deck build for your, you know, weapons and gears. It's like, why is this a thing? Like come on guys, like the main reason why I really want this game to continue on, because I know several friends, I know a lot of friends that literally will be extremely saddened if this game would suddenly go EOS, and I don't really want that to happen. The only way for you to salvage this whole situation is to speak out like this and change how you approach game development in terms of like the gameplay elements, right? Like, please, if you need to take 2 months at least to develop a gameplay content, so be it. Extend a seasonal event for like, I don't know, 2 months and put in, you know, more activities, you know, slowly by slowly, and just until you have enough time to develop a content. We can wait for it. The more content you can actually, meaningful content that you're able to develop from utilizing the more development time, the better. Because I don't really think it's sustainable at the moment for your gameplay elements to be just constantly seasonal, because like come on guys, we are not going to celebrate seasonal events constantly, am I, right? Like, this is not sustainable for the long run. Please at least think of the players, man. Think of all the loyal players who are going to play the game if you actually improve this part of your live service model, right? Like, I don't understand why you guys are just constantly, you know, doing the wrong things. You already invested into the game for 4 years on end now, And 4 years we have been waiting for this game to become something that is amazing. And yet, we are just playing this game like way more casual than even mobile games are. Like, come on, man. Like, PSO2 New Genesis is not a mobile game. It's a console and PC game. It has the graphics, it has the action combats to back it up as an amazing online live service game, but apparently you guys just don't really want to, solidify that and take advantage of that. Why? Blue Protocol has literally end of service, and literally did not even get to release at all to the global side. It should be your triumph moment to actually, create a great game. Look at the great examples out there, by the way. There's so many successful games that's not just live service, by the way. You can just take a lot of elements from a lot of single player games and implement them into PSO2 New Genesis. Since PSO2 New Genesis is inspired by Genshin Impact or Zelda Breath of the Wild, by the way, why not incorporate more of those open world elements into the open fields? Why is that not being done? Is there game engine limitations? Is there budget constraints? Is there issues with the high-ups? What it is, I don't know, but I just wanted this game to be a much better game. Until then, I'm just going to create content that is not really related to the gameplay. Because unfortunately, if I constantly try to hope myself to say like, hey, this game is still good, this game is still fine, I'll be lying to myself and to everybody. And that's the reality of the situation. Keroppi is the largest content creator for covering, PSO2 for the longest time. He literally stated that he's covered this game for 5 years on end. And he's pretty generous on his views on this game, by the way. And I don't really think all of the content creators are that generous, unfortunately. And I wish this game can become that amazing live service game that we always imagined since the original PSO. I wish we can go back to that peak. But please just understand that your global player base is not just any other hate train or just a player base that complains a lot. Please, we have valid complaints because we want the game to succeed. And that is my main message and letter I wanted to send for Phantasy Star Crew. Genuinely from my heart myself. This is literally like a third take already because my previous recordings are way too long and I don't really want to make a very, very long video. So I'm just gonna leave it at this. And truly, I don't want PSO2 NGS to stagnate like this. It needs to change drastically in order for it to be as successful. Because at this point, if they are going to do the same things for their future super games, it's just all of those future super games are going to be stagnating like how PSO2 NGS will be. Because it's just not enough content. And the reality is that making a live service is not as simple as just churning out AC scratches. You need to have development teams focus on making decent enough gameplay elements, decent rewards, decent meaningful content for us to actually bring in new players. This is the only video where I'm going to state all my grievances to the game, and that's it. I'm going to still play the game because, for me, it's still one of the best medium for me to do story content and stuff like that. So I'm still gonna, still stick with the game as a content creator. That's all. Sayonara.